What's up, everybody? Beautiful day here, St. Louis, Missouri. Coming to you live from my sister's house. It's not really live, obviously, since you're watching this who knows when. This is vlog number 20, or as my Spanish-speaking friends would say, Twento. This is a pretty exciting part of the year for me, as it is time for the World Series of Poker. So for this vlog, I want to go into some hands from last year's main event where I finished 117th. We had a pretty good run. Want to go over a couple hands there. But first, I have some shout-outs. Cameron crushed us last night at the 2-5 game. I want to give you a shout-out. Kenesha, you crushed us too because it was a pattern. And Johnny from Nashville. Met him in Metropolis, Illinois on the way to St. Louis. So Johnny, what's up? Also, quick shout-out. Do you remember this guy right here? That is Carl. Johnny Masters, who has won not one, not two, but 3 rings since we have started off this vlog. You'll remember from that episode where I played that tournament in Tunica, he was the guy to the table to the left of me who said Blog Master or something along those lines. Well, he's the master. He's won 3 rings since the vlog has started. So the run good has definitely gone from me to other people. I'm glad to see that. Also, little intro coming up where well, you'll see, I have a little bit of a duel. The star of that duel is Paisley Hollis. Used to work for my mother-in-law at my mother-in-law's business. Paisley suffers from cystic fibrosis, and I'm going to share a link down below in the description if you guys, if that's something that's dear to your heart, something that you guys can check out. cff.org. So check it out for more information, and if you guys, you know, have it in your hearts to be able to give a little bit and can afford it, please, guys. Cystic fibrosis is something that has touched me through Paisley, so if you guys can help out, man, that'd be greatly appreciated. But with that, let's get moving on to vlog 20. Today, I found somebody my own size. I crushed you twice.
No, the first time didn't count.
Why?
Because I've never done this before.
You saw it all here. Adam of House Rude defeated Paisley of House Hollis. We'll see y'all. So this hand coming at you is from day 4, the World Series of Poker main event. Day 4, in the money already. Roughly 700 players left. Looks like 767 according to that graphic. The cards are going to be dealt, and your boy, who's in middle position, and for reference, I am your boy. I'm going to be dealt one of the best hands that you can get in the game of No Limit Texas Hold'em. I look down at the Ace of Spades and the Ace of Diamonds. Now, the blinds right now are 4 and 8,000, so I'm going to pump it up just a scotch to 20. It says 18,000. Sorry, pumped it up to 18,000. The pot size was 21,000. That's what I was looking at. Ivey, Phil, No Home Jerome makes the call with 2 ducks. I will tell you this: if I raised it on this day, Phil Ivey called a whole bunch. He almost never laid it down. Altman has an easy call with the Queen 10 of Spades. Although he's on the button, I wouldn't have been totally surprised to see him come in for a squeeze, which would have been awesome. Day out of the small blinds is going to complete with the 10-8 of clubs. He's going to make that call. Funny thing about him is he's wearing an Asa Akira shirt, which happens to be an adult film star. Phil Ivey actually at the table told him that he should tweet at her and that she might think that's kind of cool. And he said, Day did, that he didn't think she would respond, and Phil Ivey said, I bet she'd respond to me. Pretty funny stuff. Then Golan picks up the Ace 7 of Hearts, and he completes. So we actually have a lot of decent hands here going to the flop. I'm looking for that case ace, of course. I should note that you actually cannot see my hand. You can only see the Ace of Spades. The other card was the Ace of Diamonds, if I didn't make that clear. Flop, 10-8-3, 2 spades. There's $99,000 in the pot. There is a bumble jacket next to me, a red-nosed hornet or something, so might have to cut this video short because you guys know I hate that kind of stuff. I see no reason not to fire out a bet. It's going to look super duper strong, so a lot of people are going to be able to figure out right then and there what I have, but you also have to protect your hand. So I do fire out 60,000 chips. Phil Ivey folds his under pair, gets over to Altman, and he has a decision to make. Should he raise? Should he call? The telecast announcer said a call was pretty standard, and I agree. He does put in the call. And then ride 'em up, cowboy. We get an all-in shove from Mr. Day, and I find out from the dealer that it's like 368,000, some trashy amount like that. So with me having the Ace of Spades, that is an important card to have because I block the nut flush draw. So Ace 10 of Spades is impossible. What that means is that he's likely going to have a stronger hand because he can't have the nut flush draw. So what does he have? There's really not any 2-pair combinations that he can have except for 10-8. He can't have 10-3 or 8-3, I doubt very much. He can also have sets, and in a multi-way pot you probably would want to ship it here. Now also look how strong he looks. I bet into 5 people. I was first act pre-flop and I bet into 5 people or 4 people, and he shoves over the top of that range. So that's a pretty strong hand for sure. Also, I have to think about this little fact. Ace here can just kind of be dead, right? I'm really not in good shape here if he has a set or these 2 pair. You'd almost rather have the nut flush in my spot, and I think it's probably pretty close here if you think about it, rather than having the 2 aces, because I can make the nuts there, and here you know, like I said, I could be just kind of sort of dead. So I actually tank on this hand for over 4 minutes. Not gonna show you all 4 minutes because that would be, ooh, that'd be rough to watch. It was rough to watch it as I was thinking about it, knowing exactly what happens in this pot. So I think about it for about 4 minutes and decide that the 78,000 chips that I lost in this pot is just gonna have to be where the bleeding stops. Eventually, I promise, I will fold here. You can see I kind of look dejected. I gotta remove my drawing dead chip from my cards there. I do throw my cards in the muck. Altman snap calls with the Queen 10. Gets there on the turn, and then you can see what happens on the river. One funny thing I should mention that from this game is how good of a poker player Brian Altman is. People kept asking me, was it tough to play with Phil Ivey? Was it one of the hardest things you've ever done? No. it was not easy. Obviously, he's a great player, but he was not the person that was giving me the most fits. It was Brian Altman. Later on in the World Series, this tournament, he finished right around where I did. He's that guy, if you remember from last year, who shoved all in. There's Altman getting there with the deuce, and then here comes the river for Day. Wham, bam, slave, thank you, ma'am, it is an 8. You'll remember Altman put in a shove with aces on a 3 spade or 3 heart board very late in the World Series, and sent the guy that he was facing into like a 10 or 12 minute tank, one of the longest tanks we've ever seen. And Altman did get called there and ended up losing, so he turned his aces into a bluff. Maybe you do remember that pot, but he was the toughest opponent that I had at the World Series for sure, and this was a big hand for me. Real quick, an interesting tale from that same day. Phil Ivey's complaining all day that the lights are too bright. He keeps telling ESPN, man, you gotta turn down those lights, you gotta turn down those lights. And they keep saying, oh, Mr. Ivey, absolutely, we'll do that for you. Of course. This is the World Series poker staff he's telling this to. ESPN, of course, is not going to turn down the lights because they have a production to run. He gets on his cell phone and he sent out a text message to somebody, and this little Asian woman shows up about 20 minutes later. She's got a bag on her from either Saks or Nordstrom or something. And in the bag, Phil Ivey pulls out 3 pairs of sunglasses. I find out later that they're all Tom Ford. Doesn't mean anything to me, but it turns out that's a relatively expensive pair of sunglasses. He tries on the first pair, doesn't like them. Tries on the second pair, hates them. Tries on the third pair, loves them. He then asks the table, anybody need a pair of sunglasses? Now me, not being very smart, I assume he means for the day, because what else would I think? Turns out, no. He's just giving away these 2 free pair of Tom Ford sunglasses. And did I get them? No. Does my wife let me live it down? No. I'm gonna walk through the neighborhood now and talk to you guys a little bit about how important the World Series of Poker is to me. I waited a long time before I could afford to play in the main event, the World Series. It is the most important poker tournament, poker game, poker aspect. It's the most important thing to me. I romanticize it, I love it, I've never missed an episode, I'm a fanboy, I love everything about the World Series. So, I know a lot of you vlog watchers are like me. It used to be exactly like me. When I was younger, I had to wait. I mean, I could not wait to play the main event. It's all I ever wanted to do. And now I'm fortunate enough to be able to play. And I want you guys to know, you guys are young, the World Series is not going anywhere. You'll be able to play it to put in your time at the tables, and you'll get there. Sell action. Save up money. Do it. It's so important to me. I hope I never miss another one. And I've experienced everything that a person can experience at the main event, other than final tabling it. I have lived that poker dream where you sit down at the table hoping to go deep, and you do. I mean, I played till late into day 5. My family, my friends were watching me on ESPN. I was doing interviews with, did one with Joe Stapleton, I did one with ESPN, my local newspaper from my hometown. I'm not saying all this to brag, it's the dream, it's why we play. It's what we love about it. And I got to experience that. And a couple of years ago, the first time I played the main event, I experienced the exact opposite. Day one, I bagged up 4,000 chips. 4,500, I think, to be exact. Like 3 big blinds, 4 big blinds. But you know what? I wasn't gonna die. I doubled up through Maria Ho 4 times on day 2, got up to over 100 grand and put 65,000 in the bag to make day 3. Ultimately went out about 4 hours short of the money, but I've lived it all. And I'm telling you, there is no greater experience in the world as far as poker is concerned. There are greater experiences in the world, don't get me wrong, but as far as poker is concerned, than playing in the main event. There's nothing more important to me in poker than trying to win that tournament. I remember being asked a question, why? It's from the newspaper in Sterling, Illinois, where I'm from. And the guy asked me, why is this poker tournament so important? Because you can play other tournaments that cost more money. Bill Perkins is trying to put together a tournament that'll have a prize pool much bigger than the World Series. Hey, couldn't care less about it, because if you win the main event, you're the world champion. That's it. That's the goal, right? To be the world champion. Poker ambassador. $8 million in the bank. Guys, it's the dream. I hope you guys get to live it too. I will see you in Vegas, where I hope we can make it even further than last year. I will see you guys out there. What is the one thing that you can do right now to help make the final table of the World Series of Poker? Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave a comment, email, however else you want to reach me. Snail mail if you want. Send me a chocolate penis. I don't care. Do whatever you want. I will most likely hit you back, because I really enjoy the comment thread. And I will see you guys next week, I believe, from St. Louis. I believe. And then Florida. And then the World Series of Poker. Bye now.